What you'll learn at this masterclass is how to create some change in your organizations or the communities that you work in around nutrition. How do we create a culture where choosing more healthier options is what we're looking for? What are those 1 or 2 nuggets that you can take back to your community to begin that change? There's so much choice everywhere, and there's a lot of unhealthy or poorer choices available, more so than better choices. When you look at, for example, a recreation center, if you're taking your child there 3-4 times a week because they play hockey or you have multiple children playing, it starts becoming an impact to your family in terms of what choices do I have to make. When you're eating at home, you're not eating hamburgers and hot dogs 3-4 times a week. But when you're eating at the rink, those are sometimes the choices that you're faced with. If I was to invite an Olympic athlete into your recreation center, would they say, yes, these are the choices that helps me be an exceptional athlete? Probably not. So how do we start changing that culture rather than seeing it as a treat? I'm there 3-4 times a week. It's no longer a treat. How do I make that change? Some of the things that you may want to look at is, how do I work with my concession operator? So their motivation is sales, profits, those kinds of things. They're going to say, nobody's really asking me for those items. With the operators, we started to say, how do I start creating customer demand for those products? With the children, they listen to what the coach says. On average, most coaches are dads and moms who have agreed to help coach the team. They're focusing on drills and skill development in the sport. They're not necessarily thinking about what do the kids need to eat so they can bring their best game forward. So we started working with coaches and saying, you know what, coach, you need to improve the skill level of your team. Did you know what the role of nutrition can play? And once I hooked in coaches and they went, I didn't know 2% dehydration led to 10% reduction in performance. Now I'm starting to get them thinking about water, how important that is, and proper food. And they started saying to the kids, I need you to drink more water. I need you to refuel properly after practice so that you're ready for the next game. We started driving sales to the concession. So it really is about looking at a problem and saying, who's my customer? What's in it for them, and selling what's in it for them. So I started having some conversations with a few coaches, the president of the Hockey Association or Soccer Association, and they started to say, you know, this is something actually that we have never thought about. I would set up at a rink and gave them the materials. So here's the handout you can give to your parents when you're going to a hockey tournament, photocopy, and just send it out. So there was no work for them. Once coaches started talking about, you know, it allowed my team to be consistent. So I would say to coaches, have you ever had a time when your kids are coming and they're an amazing team? You're like, yes, this is the team. We've practiced all these drills. We're awesome. The next game, you're like, what happened to my team? This is not the team I had at the last. And then I would speak to, have you considered, did they refuel after their game? Try that strategy, see if that's going to work and improve their game, improve consistency. So it is really about trying to identify what is in it for you, what are you trying to achieve, how can I leverage nutrition? When you're working around community gardens, planting fruit trees in public spaces to have access to food, the same principle applies. Who are my customers? What's in it for them? What are they trying to achieve? How can I link nutrition into it? Before I'm going to coaches, I'm seeing what is the appetite for it? How ready are they for the change? Now I can go and work with the customer, get the customer ready for the change. It's not easy. And I challenged the people in my group and said, you know, there's a lot of forces out there. Cheap food, packaged, easy. I take it out of the box, I put it in the vending machine. That's all I need to do. When I look at something like popcorn, it is also cheap, but I need a machine to pop it, I have to package it, right? So there's a little bit more work, but we need to start pressing that forward so that we can start getting industry to start considering, oh, I guess people aren't as interested in that. A lot of our resources are actually on the Choose Well website. So we've got a whole session there on, it's called an e-learning course, and you actually get certificates on it and on all the different areas that you can promote and improve the healthy eating environment in a recreation center. So price, promotion, how to work with coaches, the coaches kit, those kinds of things. We have community nutritionists like myself all across the province. Alberta Health Services has lots of resources. Healthy Communities has lots of resources. If you go to Choose Well, you're going to find a lot of nutrition resources. We found in schools, many kids were throwing their apples away. Moms would send an apple, they would throw them away. What was the problem? Kids wanted them cut up, but they didn't want their mom to cut them up because they'd be brown by the time they got to school. The solution? We gave out apple slicers to teachers. The kids could slice them at school, they could share them. So sometimes it's finding an innovative way to address a problem. Thinking outside the box, what is another way? What is the real problem? What are some other solutions? The biggest impact is when regular citizens come with a passion and a desire and some solutions. Municipalities will listen, so rec centers will listen. Gather together some other interested parties like yourself and find some quick wins, some quick successes, and build on that. There's amazing creative ideas out there. So talk to people, get amazing creative ideas, and bring them to your community.